So love feels different with age. Um, the good thing now with making my videos is that I got this to write my poems and ideas to also make out pointers, so it becomes a lot easy for me to just say my things. But I love to have a free-flowing thought, more original, more authentic that way. So yeah, love feels different with age. And this video is part of my documentary, as I've always been saying. It's part of my documentary. Yeah, I just have to say it. Sorry, my neighbors are quite noisy, so I have to cut this and join it again. Sucks. So everyone hits that stage where I would call the young and naive stage, where you find someone who likes you, irrespective of your gender, right? In my own experience, my first experience was having someone who liked me, a girl who liked me. And at that stage in my life, I've always been this person that I love to approach relationships, emotions from a place of being willing to engage. And I did like the feeling of being chased. And looking back at it when I was like 15, 16, it comes off as toxic. But that experience made me also realize and see the frustration in having someone come after you with so much emotions and you wall yourself off. I wouldn't say it's due to some sort of trauma or anything. I was just a 15-year-old, 16-year-old who was in his head, and the kind of experiences I wanted, wasn't what she was bringing. But it was fun. It was very, very enjoyable. Yeah, I would say it was very, very enjoyable for me. So I believe that that's the young and naive stage that most guys get to experience, and most people do not grow out of that experience. And this can actually make a person very narcissistic, because you always want to recreate that feeling. I think with proper awareness and being able to introspect and see how you made the other person feel while they were chasing you, you wouldn't want to put someone else in that position. But I mean, we live in a society where it doesn't really matter. We love being chased, and I feel like it's unhealthy. And when you are stuck in that desire to have someone chase you, or you're stuck in that desire to consistently chase without getting the same energy back, it's a young and naive stage. You have to grow out of that, and I did. And right after that relationship, I knew it wasn't something I wanted to see in any other person. Yep, it's something I want to be in a situation where I am willingly chasing and they are also chasing. I think when that happens, the chasing doesn't exist. But when it is an interaction where it's one-sided, that's when it becomes unhealthy. I feel like this is excusable when you're young. It's excusable. It's your first. Hold on, let me get this. It's excusable when you're young. It's your first experience, or your first few experiences. But over time, throughout multiple experiences, if you keep being the one who is doing this, you need self-worth. You need to find your self-worth. And if you're someone who loves it, you love the attention of being chased, it's narcissistic. So it's always best to take yourself out of situations where you're being chased or you're chasing. And I know this is not something for everyone. This has to exist. But if you're hearing this and you want to change that reality, this is what you have to do. It's a young and naive state to be chasing. I know there are lots of videos on YouTube about how to be chased, you attracting. It's actually, to me, I see like it's an energy you embody, being in your empress or emperor energy. You attract, but I think it's for a reason you attract. Well, when it comes to something intimate, wanting one-on-one connection with a person, it's not healthy to have someone constantly chase you, and it's not healthy for you as well to constantly chase someone. I mean, you need to go where your value is being seen. So it's a young and naive state. Yeah, that's how I say it. It's young and naive. And the next thing I'm going to say is, this one is strictly for men. I mean, I feel like anyone can take something out of this, because most females do have very masculine experiences, and you can relate to this. So, hold on, let me check my book. Let me see one of the points I had. Responsibility as a man. Responsibility as a man. Well, I'll keep tying this to my experiences, because I think I can speak more confidently reflecting on my experiences. So, the first relationship I ever had taught me certain things, and that's that it's not in the cards for everyone to have a relationship where you find harmony, you find cooperation without having the tangibles, money. Yes, it's not for everyone. It's not in our cards, and it's also what you desire, right? And this relationship taught me about responsibility. I've had friends who were not financially stable, but they were in a position where they had girls who were willing to pour into them when it came to the time, when it came to even coming together to work on projects, even though those projects were not successful. But I feel like having such interaction at a very young age with someone you are emotionally connected to also makes you understand early about how to work with someone. So most men fall into this side where they become over independent, and it happens with females too. That's why I said that most females can actually relate to this video. So you become over independent, and this could make most people lean towards being selfish. Will I say I'm selfish? Will I say I'm selfish because I never had to experience this? I don't know. But I would say that I'm pretty independent, and I've gotten to jump over some of the toughest loops in my life. Or should I say hoops? Is it hoops or loops? I don't know. But I've gotten to jump over some of the toughest hoops in my life. I'll check that if it's hoops or loops. I don't know. But anyways, you get the point. But I've gotten to take myself out of some of the most messed up situations with the availability of friends and family, but never in the confines of an intimate relationship. Like, oh, this is someone that I see a future together, having kids and building. And it is psychologically, it has made me a certain type of person, which I am becoming very, very comfortable with being. And this actually has made me key into this quote that I saw somewhere, I think on Instagram. And it said that God has placed I'm paraphrasing it. So it said God has placed his love in so many things outside the confines of a romantic relationship. And I've been able to see that with friends. I've been able to see that with the things I love doing. I've been able to see that with myself. Making corrections, becoming someone new. Even me making these videos, there is this little burning desire that's coming up anytime I turn on this camera to just start talking. So this is love, and I hope that it gets to someone. But at the end of it all, it's still responsibility. And for lots of people who haven't had a romantic relationship that took them through their multiple growth stages, it becomes difficult. Yes, it becomes difficult because as a human being, you've created patterns, you've created systems on solving problems, and it becomes difficult letting someone else in and trusting that much. It takes time, but for most people, it makes most people find love in other things outside the confines of romantic relationships. It's constant with family. If you're born in a family that's cooperative when it comes to communication, when it comes to I'll just say communication. So that's another thing. Love has over the years taught me responsibility, And that's just what it is. Being a man who hasn't been able to attract a romantic relationship without having tangibles, money, it builds a certain level of independence, and you have to be careful to not exude arrogance. Yes, you should know that it's responsibility. And one of the things you were not able to experience while growing up was being able to be responsible for someone else's emotions. And it's something that you have to be careful going around, because we all have different experiences. And those who are able to get that are sustaining it and have sustained it because they took up that responsibility, and that's why they've sustained it. It's a responsibility. I'm saying this because I've been able to find this in friendships. Some of the friendships that I've been able to keep for a long period of time is because of how much I've seen. I've been responsible for making this person grow. And this is the final stage. And again, this is my personal documentary. So most of the things I'm saying here is based off my reality, and it's also based on decisions that I'm making. So the last thing is protecting your space. Yeah, and this ties to the first thing I said. So I'm going to say this. So the first girl I was ever emotionally involved with romantically, I saw myself trying to build a friendship after everything. We went our separate ways. And I'm not saying that it's impossible to build a friendship once you've separated from someone. I mean, if you have that mentality that you can be friends with your ex, well, it's your human experience, but I feel like having a fixed mentality towards that is immaturity, because we all live very different lives. People have met in some of the craziest ways, and after separation, they have mutual respect and friendship for each other while still setting boundaries. But with certain people, it's not just possible, because there is always a pre-notion of who you are, even though you're not that person anymore. And you can't change that about people, even though you're constantly trying to show them that, hey, this is not who I am, and this is what I want from this communication. I think this is where it demands you to protect your space. And I try the best to do that. I try my best to do that, to protect my space. And these are just some of the things that I see that has made love different with age over time. It makes you very, very sometimes you approach it from a very logical point compared to when you were a lot younger. When I was a lot younger, I would just pour out my heart. But now I've learned to be a lot logical with it, because I know that there are real life consequences for wasting your time in the wrong connections. So yeah, this is just one of the few things that make love feel different with time, with age, and it's still a great feeling. And yeah, that's it.